So guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I made this jig. It is a sled that slides on your table bench saw. This is the Einhell table bench saw that I reviewed a few weeks ago, or a few months depending on when you're watching this video. You see I'm just clearing the scrap wood off here. And here we have several hexagon shapes, all precise, exactly the same sizes. Stand them on top of each other, they're all in line with each other, doesn't matter which way around you do it, whether you're doing that or that, all the angles are perfect. So there you go, this is a hexagon shape made on a jig. You can do this at home, in your workshop, or as you can see I'm just in front of my garage here, so I have to get the table saw out to do this. But I've made several. It's taken me about 20 minutes to cut all these out. Speeds up with a jig. So I'm going to show you how you made this jig in this video. Very simple to do. It's all fixed. Now you can make them adjustable if you need to, but that's another video. So there you go. Check out this video. Hope you enjoy it and I hope you get something out of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way. Thanks for watching. I have a piece of plywood here ready to go on the saw. I've pre-cut these runners to run in the runners on the table saw. I've lowered the saw already. Now this saw came with this, which is an angle guide for pushing angles through. It's a little bit sloppy, so you can use it, but it is does move a little bit when you're sliding it up and down the runners. This is a cheap table saw, so the quality of it is probably not as good as some of the others. However, that being said, we are going to make this sled with this. So to do that, what I'd higher than what I need, because I need to stick this board on. So what I'm doing is I've placed the plywood on top of the runners that I've made. The runners are now in the track. I'm just sliding them into position where they need to be. Then I am going to use some mitre fast glue. So this is a two-part glue. You have actual glue and then an activator. So I'm just going to put a few blobs. Now my bottle is a bit bunged up, so I had to remove the lid, so it might just pour out. Fortunately there isn't a lot in the bottle as it is. So as it starts to come out, I just need to make sure I don't get any on the table, because I don't want to glue everything to the table. As you see me, I've just let a bit too much out. So here we go, we're going to run it down the runner, and I'm going to run it down the other runner. Then I'm going to line up the board against the runners and spray some and hold it down for about 30 seconds. What I'm going to do is line it up best I can with the base square, because that's not what's going to be square, it's the cuts that are going to be square once you finish making the jig. So there you see me applying a bit of pressure. I'm just sliding it backwards and forwards now to make sure it's not stuck to the table. I'm going to lift it up now, and we need to screw these sliders onto the board now, so I need to make a few pilot holes and countersink them. So I'm drilling a few pilot holes into the rails, the sliders. I only need 4 screws in, it should hold it, just to keep it sturdy. Then I'm going to countersink them. You can buy a drill with a countersinking bit on, which also gives you a depth guide as well. Then I'm going to just screw it in. Now you need to make sure you don't split the wood, that's why I'm drilling pilot holes in. You still need to go steady with the driver, so you don't want to split the wood. Once you've done all this, It's a case of flipping it back over and again checking that it still slides backwards and forwards on the table saw. You see, packing everything away again just to make sure it's clear. What I need to do is do a little bit of trimming as well, get rid of those tails. So you're checking it both ways there just to make sure it is actually running right. Now I'm just going to cut these ends off. So I've lifted the saw blade up and chop them off and then place it back onto the table. I'm just using a ruler and I'm going to use my speed square just to get an idea of where the fence will be on the jig. Now I'm just going to draw a line. You see me finding an angle, pulling it back a little bit. I'm just going to draw a line and then I'm just going to make a cut with the saw, lift it up again, the saw blade. You see me cutting through to the line and then we're going to switch the saw off again. I'm just checking again that we've got it in the right place. So what I need to do is when I put the stop fence on the back there, I need to find the correct angle from the blade, so I need the cut in the plywood first, so that's why I'm doing that. So now what I'm going to do is apply the back fence. So I'm lifting the blade up again. I've got a digital protractor or digital angle finder. Set it to 60 degrees. I'm going to put this against the blade and then so the back fence is at that angle of 60 degrees because that's the cut we are making on the blade. So once you've offered it up, it's very sensitive is this, so you have to make sure you don't knock it or anything. So I'm using a piece of CLS and I'm also using a retractable pencil there. I'm just going to make a line off the protractor ruler first so I don't lose my mark, and then I'm going to line up the piece of wood. You can see it's got like a beveled edge already. That's all the way around. That'll help keep the sawdust free, but because it's like that, it's difficult to get it butt up against the actual angle finder on the saw. So what I actually did was find a thin strip to put under the angle holes into the wood, because I intended to screw this on just to get it fixed into place. Now it can move slightly, so what I did was put some screws in and didn't screw them all the way in. They were too long anyway, the screws. As you can see, I'm lining it up with the angle finder again. I'm going to find some screws now. And first of all, I tried that piece of wood and it was far too big, so I used a thin strip. It's actually a thin strip of plastic, just to bring that angle finder up to where I needed it. So this is, like I said, set at 60 degrees. So we're going to screw it down. These screws are a little bit too long, but I'm just using them to hold it in place for now, because what I want to do is make sure that this back fence, the stopper, is in the right place again. You can see it lifts up again off the table. So just unscrewed them a little bit, and again I'm putting another one in where I drilled the pilot holes. Then what I will do is check it again to make sure the angle is still correct, and then I can make some adjustments because I've not screwed the screws in all the way. Once you're happy with the angle, you can fix it down properly. It's kind of, you're measuring 15 times in this case and cutting once, because if it is slightly out, then you will have problems with your hexagons. So you can see me making sure that it is on a 60-degree angle there, and as you can see it's spot on. So now what I'm doing is I'm fixing a little handle type so I can push this onto the saw safely. It's just something to grip. You see me doing some pilot holes again. I'm going to use some 2-inch screws on this because it's just about the right size. And I'm actually using some black screws for this. Might sound a bit weird, but they don't rust. Makes them easier to get them out if you do need to change anything later on. So what I'm doing now is fixing that handle on the back down securely, and I have a piece of plywood, you can see it resting on the saw there. So I'm going to clear the table now of tools, and we're going to start making the stop guide to fit on the fence. You can just see me cutting into that there now to make sure the saw goes all the way through, and there you can, it's just randomly cut anywhere. Obviously I've left myself with enough left. So now's the time to make any adjustments to the back fence on the sledge if it's needed. Like I said, we've just screwed it in, so it can be unscrewed and altered or adjusted if needed. Now this is actually quite perfect and spot on. You can see me prattling about now, making a few marks just for the sake of it. There's nothing in that, I'm just using the pencil. So what I'm going to do is screw this in place. Now if you want to make an adjustable one, you can do. You can just simply add a rail guide to it or manufacture something. You could just simply keep unscrewing it and screwing it back down again, but you will end up with loads of holes in your baseboard of plywood. Now you can see me drilling some more holes on the back fence. What we're going to do is secure that into place now, because I'm happy that that is the correct angle it needs to be at. And what we're going to do now is cut the rest of the plywood into hexagon shapes. I am going to use this piece of plywood later on another video. There's the first hexagon cut. You just keep turning it round until you get your perfect hexagons. There you can see them piling them up. These are all exactly the same size. And if you've done this right, when you move them all around on top of each other and place them down like that, there should be no gaps and they should all be perfect. And that, my friends, is how you make an hexagon. So here I am making a batch of hexagons. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another video soon. Thanks for watching.